Regulatory inspections often trigger reactive chaos. Timelines accelerate, and data is hastily patched together to survive the audit. But pressure-built compliance remains brittle. The European Medicines Agency established Good Pharmacovigilance Practices, or GVP, to create a framework for proactive stability across the industry. The US FDA synchronizes with these global expectations, requiring consistency in how safety systems are monitored and maintained. Audit readiness requires a persistent operational state, integrated directly into the organization's quality management system. The Pharmacovigilance System Master File, or PSMF, serves as the central hub. It must maintain auditable links across every process, including vendor oversight and corrective actions. Maintaining this system involves three specific strategies: systematic vendor qualification, securing the data perimeter, and managing corrective actions. A functional quality management system allows an inspection to serve as a routine validation of a resilient architecture. Pharmacovigilance responsibility now relies on a diverse network of external service providers, which expands the sponsor's perimeter of risk. This six-stage vendor qualification pipeline manages risk systematically, beginning with a precise needs assessment and formal vendor identification. The due diligence stage requires a thorough review of the vendor's financial stability and historical compliance. The risk assessment determines the audit strategy, routing vendors into low or high-risk oversight pathways. High-risk partners must undergo an intensive qualification audit to verify GVP compliance. The pipeline ends at approval and contracting, where the formal operational relationship is legally codified. For high-risk vendors, this includes a separate Safety Data Exchange Agreement, or SDEA. Systemic vulnerabilities originate in the front-end qualification process. Late-stage monitoring cannot repair a flawed selection. Verification must occur both before a service goes live and periodically throughout the partnership. The timing determines which operational controls are tested. This qualification audit agenda provides the structure for selecting from shortlisted partners or requalifying existing ones. Choosing between on-site and remote audits involves balancing physical checks against digital protocols. Inspectors scrutinize the process inputs, verifying that data handling personnel possess matching CVs, accurate job descriptions, and documented training records. Routine audits for existing partners focus on periodic verification, though major system changes or safety signals trigger out-of-cycle inspections. An auditor verifies that the documented SOPs are actually lived in the daily work of the personnel. Non-traditional vendors represent a significant blind spot in modern pharmacovigilance. These partners often lack familiarity with pharmaceutical regulatory requirements. A clinical research organization produces structured safety data. A social media influencer, however, receives unstructured safety information through public comments. An influencer receiving a comment about an adverse event starts a 24-hour reporting clock. The sponsor remains legally liable for this timeline. Market research organizations also collect safety data during surveys, often without recognizing its regulatory significance. Bespoke training programs translate pharmaceutical jargon into understandable language for these non-traditional partners. The sponsor's responsibility for safety information is absolute, regardless of the channel through which that information is received. Robust systems often fail because of breakdowns in life cycle execution, specifically within corrective and preventive action, or COPPA, management. Inspectors use the 5 elements of an audit finding to locate systemic weaknesses, beginning with the criteria, the GVP standard. Next is the condition, the observed deviation, and the cause, the root reason. This leads to defining the consequence to patient safety and the corrective action required to prevent recurrence. Repeat findings serve as a primary red flag, indicating that previous corrective actions were closed without verifying their effectiveness. Weak COPPA management suggests that findings are merely tolerated rather than resolved. The pharmacovigilance ecosystem relies on the interconnection of training, vendor oversight, and COPPAs feeding back into a dynamic PSMF. This circular flowchart shows the continuous readiness loop, where every deviation leads to a measured and verified improvement. Continuous inspection readiness creates a system where audits serve as routine proof of operational excellence. Transitioning to proactive, systemic resilience eliminates the need for reactive firefighting.